Just want to introduce our presenter. We're lucky enough to have Joanna Hill from Health and Wellness. And today she's going to talk about a really important topic for everyone, especially in these unprecedented times, and that's self-care strategies. And with that, I'll send it over. Want to first let the co-host introduce himself, and then Joanna introduce herself as well. Thank you.
So I'll introduce myself real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, so everyone, my name is Lance Cortez. I'm a fourth-year political science major, and I use he, him pronouns. And I'm one of the ONDAS Center's peer mentors for this upcoming year.
And hi, my name is Joanna. I'm a health educator, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm really, really glad to be here. I don't technically fit the first gen profile because my grandma went to college. Other way, I really do resonate with first year students, so first gen college students. So that's how I really identify, including not having any help from anyone learning how to get into college. I was just looking at my friends saying, "What are you doing?" Oh, well, maybe I'll take that SAT. So anyway, I'm so glad to be here. I work in health education. My two main topics in health education are, the name of the department is Health and Wellness. And the two main topics I cover are body image and eating disorders and meditation. But I also have had lots of years of experience with stress and anxiety and a little bit of depression. So I'm here to talk to you a little bit about that. It's a very fast time that we have together. So I will go, I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to fix it to the right view. So I'm going to kind of blast through this, but certainly if you have any questions or comments or anything, you are welcome to unmute yourself, and you're also welcome to put something in the chat. It's a little bit hard when I'm screen sharing to see the chat, but Lance and Adam I know will help me out as well. So again, this is not intended to fix in 20 minutes. We're not going to fix all of your self-care issues, but this is kind of, if you can imagine this like a pep talk. This is stuff that you mostly know, but it's like me saying, hey, you can actually do this stuff. So I want to start with the Buddha, and this is based on my meditation training that I have. Buddha didn't exactly say life is hard. What Buddha said was life is not all roses. It's not all perfect happy times. He used the phrase 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. So if this life feels difficult right now, you're not making that up. That's not in your head. It is hard. And it's really how we negotiate those joys and sorrows that determine our happiness to some degree. Some of it is circumstance, but again, I'm here to talk about what we maybe do have a little bit of control over. So the other thing I wanted to show you is that if you Google wellness wheel, there will be about 1,000 models of a wheel, and it's all these different sections of your life that are impacted in this wheel. And the idea is that when all of the areas of our wheel are intact and full and functioning, then we roll right along, right? It's a complete wheel. But when we have struggle and when things get hard, our wheel might look something more like this, right? So, and if you can imagine this trying to roll on this particular model, it's lumpy, bumpy, uncomfortable, awkward, etc. So my hope is that you figure out, in your first weeks here at UCSB, you figure out what the points on your wheel are, what the things are really important to you and really impact your health and wellness, and that you work on growing those areas so that your wheel can run smoothly. So I have 5 slides because that's exactly how much time we have. So the first one is practice compassion. And this is a concept that I really learned a lot in meditation, and not to have a spoiler alert, but my fifth slide is meditation, just so you know. So, but when I was, it came back around again. Thinking about kind compassion for others can be really hard, can be really challenging, but um, but it but I think that a lot of us want that. But what a lot of people don't understand is that to have true, full compassion for others, we need to be able to practice compassion with ourselves. So I want you to think about how many times in a day you might say to yourself, that was dumb. Why did I do that? I head. And so I really like to you to think about that. And And remember that just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. So if you think, oh, I'm so stupid, oh, I'm such an idiot, or those are two of the things that come up in my head anyway. Just because you think that doesn't mean it's true. And that you can actually start, if you're paying attention to what thoughts are coming up in your head, I would really like to encourage you to challenge those negative thoughts in particular, those critical, your inner critic. Usually, most people's inner critic is worse than anything that they would give to somebody else. So, really thinking about your own inner critic and thinking about what things you're saying to yourself and what things you're thinking, and start to challenge some of those thoughts, because the truth of the matter is many of them just aren't helpful. And that's a good kind of test to see if a thought comes up, a good test to see if it's going to be good for you, good for your self-care, is to say, is that useful, right? So just saying, oh, I'm so stupid, that's not useful. That's not going to help me. That doesn't make me brighter. That doesn't make me more alert or aware or thoughtful or anything else. But if I can reframe that to say, hey, slow down, girl, you're doing the best you can. Or even, hey, you're okay, you're just unfocused. Let's take a deep breath and then let's get ourselves back on track. So really reframing is the concept that is used in psychology. So I learned it in therapy, which I highly recommend therapy. And it's just the process of noticing those negative thoughts, those unuseful thoughts, and making the decision that you don't want those, that those aren't helpful to you. And then finding something to replace them with. So instead of saying, um, I'm stupid, you might be able to stop yourself and say, hey, that's not useful. That's not helping me. That's not useful. I'm gonna trade that in for, take it easy, girl. And that's something that just I would say to myself. So I would stop saying, you're so stupid, and I would say, nope, that's not useful. What would be useful right now? Take it easy, girl. Just take it easy, or slow down, or take a breath, or something like that. So anyway, I highly recommend looking up reframing. It's a really useful tool that I've used my whole life since I learned it, and you can use it in any in any situation. So next, finding structure, and this is I would say the number one self-care tool I have to share with you, and that is that when we are in these times where we are, like, I'm home all day, so I work from here, I'm mom from here, I self-care from here, I do everything from this chair. And every time I have to make a decision, it takes some mental wear and tear. So it's exhausting to try to think of, what should I do next? What am I going to have to eat? What, just in general, what's happening next? And the more structure And I want to be careful here because it's not good to be too rigid. I like to say I plan and then I'm flexible. But really looking at what things you can make into a routine. So I write up on my whiteboard on the fridge all of the possible things that the kids can have for breakfast. So that way they don't have to come to me and ask me what to have for breakfast, and I don't have to guess what the possibilities are. On Sunday, I write down all of the possibilities for breakfast. I write down all of the possibilities for dinner. And as we use them up, I just cross them off. So that's a little bit of structure that I've developed in my family so that we don't have 4 people in my family constantly trying to figure out that I'm trying to manage. What are we going to eat? When are we going to eat? What's next? Da, da, da. So, so that's just kind of a framework there. The other thing is finding structure is in sleep. I know this is a big ask because college students, your schedule is going to really wildly be different, kind of week to week, day to day. You might have lots of midterms, but the more you can routinize your sleep, the easier everything will be. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here. Literally, sleep affects every aspect of your health and wellness. It affects mood. It affects how hungry you are. It affects obviously how tired you are. It affects how well you're able to cope. So really trying to find a good schedule for sleep. Your body wants 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, whoever you are. And I say this lovingly, you're not special. If you think that you only need 4 hours sleep, I'm here to tell you you're wonderful, but you're not special. Your body doesn't want 4 hours sleep a night. It'll take it and it'll do what it can, but it really wants 7 to 9 hours sleep a night. And it really, for the most part, wants it during the same hours every night. So as best you can, try to figure out a set bedtime and a routine before bed so that you can start, you don't have to think about what's next. You can just kind of follow the pattern and then plop into bed. Same thing with academics. As much as you can build structure into your schedule. I have students that are my interns that block almost every hour of the day. And it's literally, I mean, that's overkill for me, but that's okay. They'll actually block out relax time, right? So at least they are putting in things like sleep, or relax, sleep, eat, enjoy, play, frolic, and academics. So like I said, I don't want to recommend that you get overly concerned about your schedule, but having a rough plan so that you don't have to think always about what's next is really helpful. The next thing is exercise outdoors. I know that everybody has a different living situation and we're all over the world. Oops. But exercising outdoors when you can. So this is my dog Maisie, and this is the beach where we walk at least once a week. I'm sorry that we're not all here at Santa Barbara to enjoy. But there is tons of research that talks about specifically being outdoors. Yeah, great. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And anybody can interrupt me at any time. But there's all kinds of evidence that shows that being outside actually changes your perspective, right? When we're in nature and we can see things that are bigger than us, trees, oceans, parks. I know this is a privilege that not everybody has, but even fresh air, which I'm hoping that most of us have. We've been in California, we have not had fresh air for a lot of summer because of we've had massive wildfires that have affected the air quality in the whole state, and several states for that matter. So I know that might not be a solution for everyone, but if you can get outside and try to get your heart pumping outside. That it does so much for regulating your body, your cortisol, all the chemicals that are in your brain, the stress hormones and the adrenaline, and with all the stress hormones, and also it releases endorphins when you get your heart pumping. So that will actually help you through some of that stress. So I've been so stressed out lately. I've been really being thoughtful to walk my dog, my sweet little Maisie, twice a day, and take as many hills as I can and get as sweaty as I can, because I need to get my animal out. Like I can feel the stress hormones in me, and that's what I need to do to get them out. Number 4 is connect. This right here is a picture of, the top one is my son and my dog Maisie, and there's my foot. So all 3 of us connecting in one place. It's beautiful. Also, here's a picture of my friend Dee, who I met in this workshop last year, and we ended up becoming really good friends. And it is truly, it's well documented that we are geared to be connected to other people, that isolation's not good for us. It's not natural for us. And anything you can do to be creating bonds with other people, whether it's the people you physically live with, or making friends with people on staff, or connecting with your TAs, like connecting with Adam in the Transfer Student Center, or Lance in ONDAS, like that connection is really important for our survival and for our thriving. So trying to think of ways to get that done. In some ways, Zoom does better for that in some ways than in person. Not across the board, but sometimes it's easier to connect over Zoom, or whatever the case is. Or even I've been having some great chats with friends just via text. So don't forget those human connections. And the last piece is mindfulness. The formal practice for mindfulness is meditation. Meditation is not for everyone, but if you're curious, we do have offerings of mindfulness meditation 5 days a week in Health and Wellness, and I'll give you the website in just a minute. So if you're new to it, I teach on Tuesdays at 2. I teach beginning mindfulness, and it's one more tool in my toolbox that I use. And so you sit in a formal meditation, you sit with your eyes closed and you breathe and whatnot. And that helps. But that practice is just there to have you practice. The idea of mindfulness is that you learn through the practice of meditation to try to be mindful all day long. So really paying attention to what you're doing right now, paying attention to one thing at a time, noticing the sensations in your body, noticing, oh, I'm feeling anxiety right now. Sometimes when we're trying to run through our daily tasks and we don't acknowledge that anxiety, sometimes it's really hard you end up not being able to do it very well. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think it might not have the 8. Oh no, never mind. I'll be quiet. You're right. Anyway, so mindfulness is something that you can practice without doing a formal meditation. But again, when you're sitting on the cushion with your eyes shut, or on the chair with your eyes shut, it builds the neural pathways that make it easier to pay attention and to be mindful throughout the whole day. So I'm going to stop there. Oh no, I've got one more slide. So here is our, and thank you for including that, Lance. But here's our website for wellness and our Instagram. And we have loads and loads of events. We have a book club. We have that's on brilliant positive thinking. We have a virtual social dancing hour where you can learn ballroom dance by yourself, which is weird, but amazing. We have Wellness Wednesdays, workshops on all kinds of stuff, all kinds of wellness topics, so much more. We have a cooking class, we have a body image class. I want to give time for questions. And actually, Adam and Lance, the one thing I didn't figure out is how much time we had for each session. So are we over time?
You know what? We started a little bit early, so it's supposed to end at 1:30. So we're good on time.
Oh, fantastic! So I jammed through my slides because I really wanted to hear from all of you. So if you can, I'm gonna. Oops, I want to keep my thing on, but I want to see your faces bigger. So I'd love to hear from any or all of you. What do you do for self-care? Or do you have any questions about services at UCSB? Or
I'd just like to comment real quick too. Feel free to unmute yourself, y'all. And if you like, for some reason, just want to put into the chat, Adam or I could read it off for you. So we have one question in the chat. Can anyone sign up for wellness classes through the website?
yes, so there's different signups for different events. We are constantly trying to figure out the best way to get our information out there. So a lot of our stuff is available on Shoreline. But you can also go to the website, and we're trying to really make sure all of our links work to get you to different registrations and whatnot. But yeah, we have a ton of programming that is open, and I want to say it's free, but the fact of the matter is you pay for it in your student fees. So if you want to learn more about body image, we have a really great 4-week body image series. We have cooking classes. We have all kinds of things, and you can just go and explore that website. And there's email addresses on there if you have any questions. Is anybody willing to share a self-care technique that they use? Okay, I have a quick question here in the chat. So the question is, how long is the Meditation 101 session? I know it starts at 2, but it doesn't say at what time it ends. So all of our meditation sessions are 30 minutes. So it'll start at 2 and we'll end right at 2:30. And it's me, like it's literally like you get to see me again, get excited. So I know. And it's hard to imagine me being calm and serene, but I can do it. And it is so much fun. So I'll introduce a different topic each week. We do these little, like they're called Dharma talks, where we'll actually say a little bit about the practice, like learning about the breathing or about some concept, like I might do compassion one day, different topics within meditation. And then we actually do about a 20-minute meditation. So super fun, and I'd love to see you there. And there's other ones too. There's a morning meditation on Wednesdays. I don't have the schedule memorized, but we have one for also for social justice and for folks that are involved in the movement, the multiple movements, to kind of process and be with other activists on Fridays at 1. So just to give you an idea. Okay, so now I've got somebody gave us an answer. Taking some alone time from loved ones to do things that I love, like reading. That's awesome. Some downtime is really important. And if you love reading, we've got a book club. But you're going to have lots of reading. So just to be clear, book club is not for anyone. I can't imagine having been in a book club while I was in school. But we have one just in case. And we have 2 incoming students, an incoming transfer and an incoming freshman that are leading that book club for us. You're very welcome. Taking a trip on the Coast Starlight, is that where you are, Tara? I was noticing, I was like, oh, you're on a train. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love it. We got pampering is self-care, especially facials, massages, and acupuncture. Yes. And one of our workshops this year, Lillian, in our Wellness Wednesdays, is going to be acupressure. And so we're going to be on Zoom, but we have a professional coming in to show you different points on the body for acupressure. So if you're interested in that, join us. Yeah, the main thing I'll say is just that self-care can be really hard with all of the other demands on your life, but it really does make a difference. You'll actually be more academically successful if you take the time to find that structure, to make sure you're eating and exercising and doing the things that are good for your body. And I'll put my email in here just in case you have any other questions for me. It's just Joanna, like Madonna or Prince. You can tell how old I am now. Yeah.
All right, once again, just want to thank you, Joanna, for being with us today on behalf of What Health and Wellness. In behalf of myself and the Transfer Student Center and Lance and the ONDAS Student Center, thank you guys for joining us. We'll go ahead and put in the sign-in sheet for the chat one more time in case you joined us a little late. Please sign in, let us know that you were here. And yeah, feel free to reach out to any of our departments on campus, and we'll hopefully see you via Zoom real soon.